Welcome to On Texas Football. Time for lunch with Coach Bob Shipley and Coach Bryan Erwin, two former high school football coaches, highly successful high school football coaches in the state of Texas. Now joining us on Texas Football. This episode brought to you by Laura Baker, your Austin real estate professional. We'll talk about her a little bit later. Coach Shipley and Coach Erwin, I want initial thoughts, and then I want to know what y'all want to talk about today. Bob, you give me your initial thoughts on Saturday's game.
Well, I thought if you asked me to rank that team that was playing and I didn't know any better, I would say 15 to 18 team in the country, probably something like that. I think that's kind of, how we played. When we did, CJ and I did grades yesterday, I gave the offense a C. Certainly too many penalties. We had trouble at center. We had trouble at right guard. Our wide receivers, we haven't had anybody break forth as a playmaker other than Parker Livingstone. But it's not that speed demon that we've been used to, that somebody's going to have to step up, and it looks like it may wind up being a freshman. Obviously, we missed Trey Wisner. If you don't know it, Trey Wisner is dang good. And I think Baxter did a good job, but we certainly missed him. Defense, I gave a B, and I won't go into great detail that. We'll talk about that a little later. But anyway, the real issue is, again, are you going to learn from this, and are you going to continue? Because right now we do not look like a playoff football team.
Yeah, I think that there's some truth to that. Even Sark himself in the postgame on Saturday said he felt like it was sloppy. Bryan, your thoughts on what you saw on Saturday, and what do you want to talk about today?
Very similar to what Bob said. I think he's right. We look like we're, number 15 ranked team in the country, but that doesn't matter right now. Really and truly, what matters is we got to keep getting better and better each and every week. I think certain aspects of the team did get better. The guy that we worried about all week, was he going to be able to walk and chew gum at the same time? Arch Manning. That which I wasn't worried about. I don't think anybody on this show was worried about, but we had people out there that were worried about it. Arch improved. Arch got better. No doubt about it. Did he get off to a little bit of a shaky start? Yes, but it wasn't all on him. Arch definitely improved. He's going to continue to get better. He's the least of our concerns. My first thought is we got a bunch of dogs on defense. I'm talking about serious physical dogs, and we're deep. We're physical. We can turn the ball over. You saw what happened. Just ding, ding, ding. We got 3 turnovers in a row. It reminded me of just a great basketball team that can full court press you. And, they can turn a 5-point deficit into a 25-point lead in 2.5 minutes. We've got that type of defense. I love the depth. I love the physicality. We turned the ball. What were we talking about last week? We didn't get any turnovers. We didn't force Ohio State any turnovers. And we did. This week with some physical play. We got an interception. We got a fumble recovery to Anthony Smith, another fumble recovery by Trey Moore. And then Anthony Hill, him punching that ball out with his hand. I knocked the guy out with his hand through his face mask. That's manly stuff. So, yeah, there's certain aspects of it that we're not happy with. But defensively, we got some dogs, and we got something we can build this football team around. Now what we need, like Bob says, we need some dogs to step up on offense. I think Trey Wisner's a dog. I think Parker Livingstone's a dog. They proved that. We need some more dogs to step up. We need a couple more backs. We need some receivers. We need our tight end core, other than Jack injuries. We need those tight ends to step up because the tight ends really struggled other than Jack injuries.
It's good stuff. I look at it, and I saw a team on Saturday, not unlike what y'all are describing. Look, and this is what I wrote in my Sunday article. It's a work in progress. Mm-hmm. Anybody that thinks this Texas team is what's going to be at the end of the year, if everybody stays healthy, is just not seeing the forest through the trees. Bob, we did not mention special teams at the outset there. You said you wanted to talk about it. What is it exactly about special teams that you wanted to talk about?
Well, just undisciplined, first of all. And again, if I'm just an unbiased person watching tape, I'm thinking this is probably one of the bottom 10 special teams units in the country, maybe bottom 15. But, after that first game, Bryan and I were talking about, hey, we got a punter. We don't have to worry about that. What a weapon. And, he wasn't the same guy. and that's unfortunate. But the undiscipline, on the punt block and just lack of returns. I just feel like we've gotten spoiled with the quickness we've had back there at punt return, knowing that if a punt is fielded, it's probably going to be it has a chance to go a ways. I'm not feeling that this year, and but overall, I gave our special teams a D grade yesterday. I think they're very average at best.
What do you think, Bryan?
Yeah, I definitely was disappointed in Bowmeister's come back on stage a week later. He wasn't as consistent. He didn't punt the ball well at all, but hopefully that's a one-off for him. I was really disappointed in the roughing the punter call, just like Bob was. We got a chance. We stopped him. We got a chance to get the ball right back, and I understand that's our philosophy. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm not saying it's wrong. It's just not my philosophy. We never were that strong of a punt block team. I wanted to get the ball caught. I wanted to sometimes fair catch it 100% of the time. I'll take the ball right where I catch it instead of trying to get a 10-yard block in the back penalty or muff the punt or whatever. I just want the ball. The goal on fourth down is for the next down you have the football. That's the goal. And I don't think we necessarily have to be as aggressive as we are with punt blocks, but that is our philosophy. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm not a huge fan of it, and obviously when you rough the punter and you let their offense come right back out on the field, and it takes away from our offense his ability to get back onto the field. So I thought special teams wise we were very, very average. At least we got a chance to see Shipley. He did kick a field goal. That was good to see him kick that thing through. Did a nice job there. But overall, I think special teams kind of mirrored the offense and maybe the defense in some spurts. Were we completely 100% jazzed up, ready to go in this game? No. We're coming off a huge game against Ohio State. It's a tremendous letdown. There's no way we're going to be jazzed up to the ultimate. We weren't going to be able to play our very, very, very best game. Emotionally, I just don't think you could do it every single week. But certain aspects of the team got better. Certain individuals got better. But we've got to have the whole team getting better 1 week at a time. Just like you said, Bobby, it's a work in progress. The best coached teams and the players that are willing to grow and develop and be coached are going to be the teams that are there at the end. They're going to be the top 12 at the end of the season. We have that ability to be that type of team, but we're going to have to coach them well, and our guys are going to have to be coachable and take ownership of that and become the type of players and the type of units and the type of team they need to become.
All right. Before we go further, I want to talk about the run game a little bit with you guys because it was a conundrum, I guess, is the best way to put it. After looking somewhat good against Ohio State, I want to say thank you to our sponsor. That is Laura Baker, Austin real estate professional. If you're moving to, from, or within the Austin city limits and want someone that knows Austin like the back of her hand, that's Laura Baker with Keller Williams and the Andy Allen team. Reach out to her, 512-784-0505. That's 512-784-0505. She has a lot of open houses around the area. Laura at andyallenteam.com. That's Laura at andyallenteam.com. And she is a Longhorn through and through. Bryan and Coach Shipley, the run game for the Longhorns. I don't know if it was MIA because of Trey Wisner or what have you, but what did you see from the Texas run game that you like, dislike? Was it inconsistent? Because that's kind of where I want to go. Bryan, what do you think on the run game?
Yeah, pretty inconsistent. I felt like Stroh struggled a little bit during the game. I think Baker also struggled some during the game. And DJ got his normal holding call or two. And in an opportune time, and we had a couple of big plays where we got a couple of holding penalties, and it always happens that way, right? But I see now that we're a big gap scheme left team is the way I'm seeing it. We're running counter, we're running gap schemes big time to the left. that allows DJ to pull and kick, that allows Baker to pull and seal, that also allows Townsend. Other than one time, Townsend really screwed up one time on a pull and kick to the left, and it tripped up. I believe it was Baker as he was pulling and sealing. It might have been DJ. But other than that, Townsend, that kid, I don't know if you watch him, but if you haven't, watch him. He is a physical freak. He's getting after it. He's very, very physical. He's going to end up being a great player for us in the 12 personnel scheme. And we need that because right now I'm not seeing a lot of quality play behind injuries. And so we need him to continue to step up. But we're heavy gap scheme to the left, heavy counter tray scheme to the left. And we run it a bunch of different ways, which is fine. But, DJ sometimes pulls and kicks and doesn't kick real well. And then the next time he will, and it'll look like an explosion. We just need more consistency. We need more cohesion. Need those guys, doing it and doing it and doing it. Like we said a couple of weeks ago, there's not an offensive line in the country very good right now. But now we're getting to week 3, week 4. That's when those lines need to come together, become cohesive and get it done.
Yeah, they got to gel a little bit, to your point. Bob, what did you think of the run game? Was it consistent enough for you, or did it leave you lacking? And I want to ask you this, too. Didn't San Jose State, commit more people to the run in this game?
Yeah.
Ohio State?
Yeah, I think they did. And it's a team that gave up, 250-something yards rushing the week before to a group of 5 school or whatever. So, yeah, I think I don't think Cole Hudson played a good game either. Brandon Baker, he didn't play that great of a game. But, Bryan covered the offensive line much better than I could have. And I agree with every single thing that he said. He's watched it much more in depth than I have. But just on the running back situation, we've still got a guy that's got fumble problems, and he's probably not going to see any more action for a while. We've got Cedric Baxter, who, a year ago, was a little over a year ago, was the guy and was going to be, and then his backup comes in and leads the SEC in rushing, but we still need him in this backfield. And I'm looking forward to the day, and I'm hoping that Sark is just holding it out. But as Rod Babers and I agree wholeheartedly, we need to have those two guys in the backfield at the same time. And I think that will certainly help out our running game, and will enable us to get a ball to a back out of the backfield a little easier as well.
Let me ask you this, because Bryan mentioned the term, we need more. We have plenty of dogs on defense. Do you need playmakers and dogs on offense? Is that really what it's getting down to? Nick Townsend acts like one.
Yes, he does.
You know what I mean? He brings that physical. I think Cedric Baxter is extraordinarily physical for a running back. He may not have the same ability that he did a year ago at this point in time, right? Trey Weiser, Bob, you think he's a dog, or Bryan, you guys both have sang his praises. Is that more of what y'all are talking about? Does Ryan Wingo and DeAndre Moore, do those guys need to step up? Because frankly, I think that's what we're talking about. It's, you see it on defense. You see those guys making plays, flying around like their hair's on fire. I know offense is a different kind of a precise movement, that sort of thing, and everybody try to be in syncopation. But Bryan, what do you think about that? Is that what you're trying to get at? Is show me some guys that can get after it like that?
Yes. Do what you do. If your strength is Nick Townsend being physical, throwing your body around, knocking the mess out of people as a freshman, that's how he's going to contribute. If you're Wingo, we all know how he needs to contribute. Use his speed, use his ability on some jet sweep type things. Catch the ball deep, catch the ball over the middle. The one over the middle, his hand selection was very, very poor. There's no excuse for it. His hand selection, that ball's coming above his chest, and he's got his pinkies together trying to catch it like this instead of thumbs together trying to catch it like that. that's just inexcusable. He's got to catch the football, make plays. So, yes, you use the term either a dog or a playmaker. Playmakers need to be playmakers. Dogs need to be dogs. But either way, we need those guys to step up. Obviously, Parker Livingstone is doing his part right now on offense. But we need Wingo. We need more to step up. We need one of those young freshmen maybe to step up. And I think there's a couple of those guys that showed some glimpses the other day that they may be able to. We get Wisner back. I love that, Bob. Bobby will tell you, 21 personnel or 20 personnel, however you want to look at it, but 2 backs in the backfield and a shotgun set. I love that set, and that's going to be good to us down the road. There's no doubt. But yes, we need some guys to step up. We need some playmakers. The guys that need to go make plays, make plays. The guys that need to be physical, go be physical. Do your job and get it done.
Hey, Bob, I got a question for you. You said right now you look at that team, you say, oh, if you watch that team without burnt orange glasses on Saturday, you said they were 15 to 18 in your opinion. That's how you kind of rank them. They were talented but undisciplined or sloppy, whatever you want to call it. What do they need to do to be top 10 in your opinion? Where do you need to see improvement, I guess?
Well, I think first and foremost in our running game with our offensive line, but equally as important. I don't know that you can say one is more important than the other. Well, I have to say the offensive line is the most important. But we have to have a playmaker really to show himself and rise above everybody else on offense, because Sark thrives on that. I think Arch will thrive on that. You have a guy that's going to find a way to get open and is going to be able to get people to bite on a hook and go or whatever. Have somebody like that. And I thought we had a couple on the roster, but we need to look at these young guys, at the wide receiver. But I think the offensive line is going to be the most important thing.
Yeah. Bryan, what do you think? What does Texas have to do to kind of turn that corner to look more the part, I guess?
Just stay at it. Like you said, we're a work in progress. Let's get better every single week. You got to just stress that as a coaching staff, as a team. This is a long haul battle. We just got to win one week at a time. But in the process, and in the short term, we've got to figure out a way just to keep getting better up front, because it takes everything. The offensive line's got to do its thing. The tight ends have to do their thing. Running backs, receivers, Arch. And we've got a good quarterback. Arch is going to be fine. We need some guys around him to make plays. I also think that schematically right now, I like to see a little more quick game built into our offense. I'm not seeing a lot of quick game where Arch, it's catch 1-2, boom, ball's, coming out to the flat, or it's going to the slant, or it's going to the fade. And some real short, quick game complimentary routes just to get the ball out of his hands. A lot like what Colt McCoy used to do. He was a big time quick game guy. Right now, it just seems like we're play action pass, intermediate throws, the crossers covered, the deep balls covered, and there's not a lot there. So it's either intermediate or it's run. And so I love this Arch RPO, which right now, another thing is from an RPO standpoint, there's nothing more frustrating than for Arch to throw that thing out there and us pick up 0 yards or lose a yard or gain a yard. If we throw the RPO, we should get 3 to 4 yards, period. And that means either he's got to make a better decision on throwing it out to the flat, or our wideouts, they've got to do a better job of blocking, because right now we're not getting it done on the perimeter. Our RPO game, getting the ball out the flats, got to be dangerous with Wingo, with Moore, and with those other guys that we have. And so we've got to make that happen. But I think just first and foremost, some type of quick game stuff that can get Arch in rhythm. They're easy throws. He's not sitting back there going from progression 1, 2, 3, 4. And I think that will get him in a rhythm a whole lot faster.
I want to add this. I do want to say this. I mean, we mentioned Parker Livingston. The other one that I thought played really well was Jack Indries. I mean, he got 2 touchdowns. He's going to be a receiving threat for this team. Mm-hmm. And perhaps those are the 2 guys right now that Arch is relying on most, in my opinion, downfield. Livingston and Indries. We got to get DeAndre Moore, of course, he looks like he went out with a stinger, and then also Ryan Wingo more involved. But we'll see how it goes. Definitely improvement from Arch, but some work ahead, I think, is what y'all are saying for all parts of the team. All right, that's going to do it for today's Lunch with the Coach. Thank you, Coach Erwin. Thank you, Coach Shipley. We'll have more today. Coach Shipley, you're back tonight on the live stream. Rod Babers and CJ Vogel. Bryan, you'll be joining us Friday morning, each and every Friday morning this year on Coffee and Football as well. For Coach Shipley and Coach Erwin, as well as our sponsor, Laura Baker over at Keller Williams Real Estate and the Andy Allen team, I'm Bobby Burton. You guys have a good lunch. Hug 'em.